Hi everybody, Andrew Cuneo here. So far I haven't really been very excited about Standard with Lost Caverns of Ixalan. I didn't really see very many cards in the spoiler that felt like they were going to be very impactful in Standard. And looking at the first wave of results from Magic Online, it really doesn't seem like there are a ton of cards making a mark. If you look at the results, it's mostly just that a couple different white weenie strategies added like one card, and they happen to be good in the one tournament that's been run so far. And it seems like there are some things that maybe help out, like the 5-color ramp decks, either Spelunking or Cavern of Souls, if you want to make sure your Atraxa resolves. One card that did stand out to me, though, was Subterranean Schooner. So it's a 3/4 vehicle for 2 mana that has crew 1, and whenever it attacks, the thing you crewed it with explores, which exploring every turn isn't exactly... It's not worth a full card a turn, but it's worth a fraction of a card a turn for sure. And also, this is a reasonably efficient body. So I was excited to try that, and it turns out that there are still a couple of really good vehicle cards legal in Standard. You may not realize this, but Greasefang is Standard legal. So this is not like a Pioneer or historic kind of combo Greasefang deck where you're trying to get Party Land number 2 in play. This is more of a value Greasefang. And then there's also this card, Surgehacker Mech, which has really never made an impression on anyone, I would say. But it's not a terrible card. I think the way this works in Standard is if when you cast it, you're dealing 2 damage with it, which would just be off the Surgehacker Mech being in play. That's probably a below rate card. But I think if you're casting it and you're dealing 4 damage pretty consistently, you're probably going to be pretty happy with that as a card. So those are the 2 main vehicle synergies that I was looking to try to take advantage of now that there's an additional good vehicle in Subterranean Schooner. Then to get enough vehicles to make the Surgehacker Mech and the Greasefang good, I think the next best vehicle is Getaway Car. There's a couple of okay ones in the new set, but they require red mana, and I think that Raffine is like one of the best cards to go with a Greasefang. So I did not really want to add red to my deck. Outside of that, I've got Spyglass Siren, which is basically it's just a good card to crew the schooner or the Getaway Car. It works pretty nicely with the Getaway Car because you can keep bouncing it and replaying it and getting more map tokens, which is another way to get an incremental advantage. I've got Raffine's Informant and this new card, Malcolm, Alluring Scoundrel, as sort of ways to get vehicles into my graveyard or just generic small bodies that can crew the schooner. And I also have 4 Faerie Masterminds just because I think it's actually just a generally pretty good card. It's certainly very good against Up the Beanstalk. I'm trying this new removal spell out, Get Lost, which is kind of I think it's a better version of Fateful Absence. It's not strictly better, but I think giving your opponent 2 map tokens is not as bad as giving them a clue. And also you can hit enchantments, which that's relevant sometimes. The other thing that is a little bit awkward, and I'm not really sure, I've got 2 Mech Hangars in my deck because they do give me a way to crew. I have 10 vehicles in my deck, and it's pretty horrible when you just have a bunch of vehicles in play and you can't crew them because you didn't draw enough creatures. So Mech Hangar can occasionally solve that problem. And then I've only got 2 Plaza of Heroes. This is not like an Esper Legends deck where so many of my cards are legends that you really want to play 4. This doesn't really give me that... It doesn't give me colored mana for that many cards I'm trying to cast. So this is like really kind of a blue-white splash black deck. So I don't have 4 Plaza of Heroes. I also have this new card, Restless Anchorage. Esper Midrange or Esper Legends was certainly one of the better decks before Lost Caverns of Ixalan, and was arguably the best deck. One thing it didn't have was a good creature land, but Restless Anchorage and the blue-black one, which I think it's like Restless Reef maybe is the name of it, are both upgrades over the white-black creature land. I only have the white-blue one in my deck, because I think that the white-blue one is probably better for this deck. But your mileage might vary. Also, I've only got one of each of the legendary cycling lands because I do not have that many legends in my deck. Sometimes in Esper Legends, people will just play a lot of these and just play like 27 or 28 lands because they're pretty good spells if you're reducing the cost substantially consistently, which this deck does not do. Looking at the sideboard, I do have 3 copies of Invasion of Gobakhan in my sideboard. I think this card is overrated by the public at large, but I do think it is a good card against people who are putting like 7-drops in their deck that they plan to cast as 7-drops, so like Invasion of Gobakhan. It's also good against herd migration just because those, once you get the herd migration out of the person's hand, they can't channel it, which is the main reason it's in their deck. They can only cast it, so that's pretty nice. I've got some cut downs just to have some cheap removal. I do have a couple Disdainful Strokes. This is probably... so far I haven't seen a ton of people trying to use Cavern of Souls to put Atraxa into play. But I do think that one of the things that's going to happen in Standard is that if people start trying to turn to Atraxa as a way to like win mid-range battles, they're eventually going to be putting Cavern of Souls in their deck. So the plan of like trying to use counters to fight that is not nearly as good as it was pre-Ixalan. A couple Malevolent Hermits. I think this is a card that's pretty good synergistically with having a bunch of vehicles you want to cruise. So you want to have a pretty high density of small creatures. And then you also want to have something you can discard to get value from later because you do have a lot of looting or looting style effects in this deck. A couple Unlicensed Hearses. They're in my sideboard as much because this is like a vehicle themed deck. So there's a sideboard card that is a vehicle, so I thought I would try it. I don't really know that it's all that important to have Unlicensed Hearse in your sideboard in Standard right now, but if I play against people where Unlicensed Hearse is going to be good, it's going to be especially good in this deck, so I've got a couple. And I have a couple Werefox Bodyguards. I wanted a little bit more removal, especially for kind of like white mid-range creature battles or, against the aggressive white decks. And I haven't really played with this card very much, so I don't have a strong opinion as to whether it's better or worse than Brutal Cathar. I just wanted to try it some. And I think that this deck can support the double white mana pretty comfortably. So I'm trying it here. And then finally, a third Getaway Car. This is specifically because I think Getaway Car is a really strong vehicle against like 5-color ramp decks that are mostly planning to beat you with Sunfall, depopulate type cards. I haven't seen a lot of copies of Farewell, so I think that this is really good at dodging sweepers, both because it has haste, it's not a creature on their turn, and you can also use it to control, if you're leaving a creature in play or not, which is pretty nice. All right, let's get to some games. Pretty land-heavy hand, but I'm going to get to loot one of them away. Getting land heavier. Probably just want to get rid of Raffine's Tower. Like I said, I kept the land-heavy hand because I was going to get to loot one away, but drawing 2 more in a row, it's a good way to blank Duress. I think I'm really going to struggle to just beat the enemy called Anvil. My hand is quite weak. Unicalled Anvil decks always look so fun when I play against them, but then whenever I try them, they just seemed to be not very good to me. This is a new card that's an upgrade to them, for sure. This card doesn't strike me as being particularly good. Like the Descend clause on it's almost irrelevant. Oh, this card I think might be okay. It's cool. This person has a lot of new cards in their deck. And they're beating me senseless. Yeah, I think that's enough land for one game. Don't think I have very good sideboard options against this deck. I have almost nothing. Can this exile artifacts somehow? No, it exiles non-fox creatures. So that's not going to help. Destroy a creature, an enchantment, or a planeswalker. That's not going to help. Guess I'm just going to board in some cut downs and admit that I just do not have a very good sideboard for this matchup. Supposed to draw a 2-drop. The Duresses is not a very big deal. I was looking for a way to discard Surgehacker Mech anyway. It's pretty hard for a card to backfire more than that Duress did for the opponent there. Pretty impressive. Crew 4, which is a bit of a problem. I think I want to bounce this because next turn I might want to play the Surgehacker Mech and crew the Getaway Car with the Spyglass Siren. If I don't draw an untapped land, I would not be able to do that. Yeah. I guess I think this thing is not that good for me, right? It transforms in some way. What does it come back as? So it's pretty hard to flip it back, but it was just going to become a land for them. don't think I'm really in the market to draw that guy. I'm going to play this turn over Raffine, just so I can set up for Surgehacker Mech next turn. And I'm going to leave this Spyglass Siren in play, so I don't know that I'll have mana to cast it next turn. Certainly, if I cast the Surgehacker Mech, I will not have mana to cast it. I will bounce this other one, though. You're an attacking creature. We want to buff up the Getaway Car. Getaway Car does hit me really hard. Can have a 1-drop? The Lunch Veteran. I think my plan is going to be flash in Malcolm. And probably next turn play Raffine, attack, loot away the schooner. Okay. I could just play the Greasefang and have it on defense. That doesn't seem all that exciting. This is already preventing 2 damage. Actually, it's probably going to wind up preventing 3 damage because they won't attack with the Lunch Veteran. Discard a card. Does it have to connect to loot? Oh, it does. So probably want to discard some lands. Faerie Mastermind, maybe. I'm gonna get to loot again. So they can convoke out a Virtue of Loyalty, right? But not 2. Whoops, I thought that was going to deal 4 damage for some reason. That was pretty bad. Probably dead, right? In the air. They can attack for 10 after all the Raffine triggers. Unless they have another thing they can do, which... they probably don't. Take 11. I guess I could have taken only 10. Needing the recruitment off, it doesn't matter though. I can actually deal more damage if I needed to, because I could attack on the ground as well. This seems like a very good matchup for the Werefox Bodyguard. Seems like an okay matchup for cut down. But what don't I want? Getaway Car seems pretty bad. Destroy Evil seems worse than my other options. Like, Virtue of Loyalty is going to be an enchantment, but I don't know that I'm going to want to spend mana on killing it as an enchantment all that often. And I'm just going to play Cut Down Every Get Lost because it's 1 mana. The Mech Hangars are really bad with Raffine. It's very sad that I drew 2 of them. It's a Siren Pirate. Seems like it's getting kind of out of control for me. Probably going to wind up playing Get Lost on the Knight Errant of Eos and just flashing into Faerie Mastermind to trade with like Resolute Reinforcements to delay the invasion of Segovia flipping for one turn. But I'm going to wait to see exactly how they attack. What I could have done, I could have just let this thing flip and then get lost. That might have been better than what I did. I wasn't expecting them to send the Knight Errant at my face. Because I'm basically in a situation where I just have to race right now. I'm never going to outvalue them. I drew way too many land. Did draw 2 Mech Hangars though. That's kind of nice. I do probably kill them in the air next turn. Guess I'm going to have access to the Restless Anchorage as well. No, we want to play this thing first. I want to put the Explorer counter on the Greasefang. If it has 4 toughness, it can block the Cactus Sea Tyrant. I find it kind of weird they have a card in their deck named Cactus. It really feels like this is a game I should be losing. Oh, they have the Werefox Bodyguard in their deck. Oh, that's actually... is that a problem? It's not quite big enough to be a problem. Or it's not quite enough because I can attack with the Anchorage, Raffine, and the Siren. I guess I am going to be forced then to have 2 things to discard, so that is sort of a problem. Yeah, I'm probably going to lose to that.
Finally restored.
Oh, I forgot they could also do this thing. Yeah, I'm definitely going to lose. Actually, no, maybe not. They should have gone after a flyer. Wait, I don't get it. Didn't they just play in a way that they're guaranteed to lose? Maybe they they didn't realize they were about to draw the Werefox Bodyguard, I guess. You can't convoke out creatures with this, right? There were a lot of problems with that match. But it worked out in my favor, so I'll take it. I guess most third lands that I can play a Raffine. I do have these that I can play in turn 2 or turn 3 if I miss on a land. If I draw a Mech Hangar, though, wow, am I going to feel bad. It's Mech Hangar and Eiganjo. If I draw either of those as my third land, I will not be able to play Raffine. Wish it was a Mech Hangar. I could play this Schooner. Know about the Schooner. I can tell they know about the Schooner because they have the Schooner. I was hoping they were going to crack their map on it, but no. They did not. Who's this guy? Please show me this card larger. Artifact or pirate? Put it into your hand, the rest on the bottom. They're really building up quite a supply of maps over there. Yeah, it's not going to matter. My plan to draw the third land, it didn't work. What other red cards they have in their deck? Kamana Faces Kakazan is a really good card, so there's no shame in playing with that one. Starting to sense that I have some problems. I think we'll move on to the next game. Another good matchup for cut down. I'm going to guess against a red deck, the Werefox Bodyguard is not particularly good. And probably I don't want Destroy Evil. Destroy Evil can hit the Schooner. It can hit Commander Faces Kakazan. Maybe that makes it better than Get Lost. It's like the same hand as last time. I'll do the same thing. This is going that set of lands I've assembled. Never a pirate. Is this a pirate vehicle? No. I probably should have mulliganed both of these games. This thing's it's a base 3/3 first strike for 3. Gives you value when pirates attack. That's a pretty good card. Probably, I mean, the opponent's done a pretty good job of putting a bunch of pirates in their deck, but I bet it's not that easy to get all the pirates. All right, so I cannot currently even cast Cut Down, but perhaps I will be able to. I think I'm about to die, though, because I think this is a Wetic Glyph card. Makes it so I'm just dead on board. I'm dead. All my lands would come into play tapped. Not a strong showing in that match. I think I want to guarantee that I curve out well and just play the tap land turn 1. And I can play the Siren to crew the Schooner. This is not a good matchup for Surgehacker Mechs. Guess I can connive one away. I think it's worth pitching the second Surgehacker Mech just to make this thing a 3/2. Nothing else. Obviously, both Surgehacker Mech and the second Mech Hangar are pretty weak. They haven't played a land yet. If they play a land, they have the curve out where they get to flip this right away, and I almost definitely lose. They missed their land drop. I think I'm going to attack with both. No, I'm not going to attack with both. I'm going to attack with only the Getaway Car because this is crew 4, not crew 3. But it will bounce the Siren. Should have mapped this thing first. Should have mapped it off of a Mech Hangar too, so I could have replayed the Siren. And then attacked with the Mech and the Getaway Car. And just had the Siren back to chump this thing. This might work out okay. Although they could also just have Sunfall. Even Sunfall, though, I will be hitting them with a Getaway Car. Next turn down to 8. Just don't play anything scary. Herd migration. That's kind of scary. Greasefang. I don't know that Greasefang would save me, but it would be something. What do you got for me? Land. Well, that wasn't good for me. I think this one's officially gotten out of hand. So I like Disdainful Stroke, I like Invasion of Gobakhan, I like Getaway Car. Do not really like Surgehacker Mech. Don't really like Get Lost. I'm going to try these Hermits over Raffine's Informants. So I'm going to flash in Faerie Mastermind if they play up the Beanstalk. If they hadn't, I would have flashed in Malcolm. I think my plan is just next turn I'm going to play Malevolent Hermit. So I'll use that to crew the schooner. That hits harder than just casting Malcolm there. Weird, they just played 3 basic lands. They don't have access to white mana at all. Very strange. I think I just want Malevolent Hermit in play. Yikes. Didn't enjoy that. Didn't enjoy that at all. I'm just going to cycle. Supposed to have a second Faerie Mastermind to flash in there. But I do. This is officially going not great. Targets, right? Yeah. So if they wind up just playing Virtue of Persistence, the first time they use it, I can fizzle it with Takenuma. That I have going for me. Outside of that, I have nothing going for me. Gun down both of my creatures. Yeah, I really have nothing going for me. A little bit late to the party. I did get the herd migration though, that's good. I don't think my deck is capable of winning from this spot, even if I drew perfect every time. I guess I don't have much left that is actually good against the Archangel of Wrath. That's the problem. Alright, well. I wasn't going to win by not blocking. I think the answer was I was not going to win either way. Need more hands that look like this. I definitely have a Spyglass Siren to spare this game. Ooh. Getting the Greasefang synergies going on. Discard a card. I think I'll discard the Siren. I might want to just hard cast the Surgehacker Mech and like not be committed to Greasefanging it into play. Because now we can feel comfortable putting a Greasefang into play without having to worry about, oh, I should have cast this too. What am I doing? Forgot I was talking and I forgot I was getting the schooner back. That was bad. Just missed 3 damage in the Explorer. I think my draw's good enough that it's not going to matter. Thankfully. Because even if they kill Greasefang, I have the backup Greasefang now. Oh wow. They're able to kill Greasefang and put something into play that is a target for the Surgehacker Mech that's in my graveyard now. I don't know if this deck is good, but its good draws are really good. Guess something like that. I don't think it matters. So they would be dead had I played more reasonably. Good to know. They're going to die to the Mech Hangar. They're going to kill Greasefang, and the Mech Hangar is going to kill them. Mech Hangar for the win. So was this like some sort of Esper mid-range deck, probably? think that's how I'm going to board. Should I prefer Destroy Evil to get lost? It's going to hit Shieldred, Raffine, and Wedding Announcement. Maybe I should. I don't know. I really don't have a good sense for just how good Get Lost is yet. Maybe I'll just put Raffine next to the Mech Hangar so everyone can see that and enjoy it. By playing this turn 1 instead of the Raffine's Tower, I'm basically committing to my next turn is going to be Raffine's Tower plus... Explore. Maybe I shouldn't have done that into untapped mana. Do I want a Subterranean Schooner? I think I do. I even have the Mech Hangar in case things go wrong with all my creatures. Thankfully, they did not have a Raffine there. They know of the schooner. How bad is it for me? I'm just walking to make disappear. It's pretty bad. I think I'm just going to hang out on Destroy Evil and play Raffine next turn. Going to kill the Raffine. But they don't get the Explorer. I do take 3 damage, but leaving them with the Raffine I think is a lot scarier than leaving them with the Schooner. I'm going to attack first so I don't give them a card off the Mastermind. Probably just going to lose to Virtue of... What's it called? Virtue of Loyalty? I need to draw something this turn or I cannot win. Did draw something. I don't know if it's good enough though. Maybe should have just gone for the draw last turn. This is a card I considered playing with. If I was a little bit more black focused, it would be good. Surgehacker Mech is not going to do much, sadly. I think I need to Takenuma. Find something relevant. Maybe Malcolm. I think Malcolm's better than Faerie Mastermind here. They're roughly the same card. I think they're both just going to eat an Urtai. Huh, you're going to eat Make Disappear. Okay. So they're going to play Urtai to counter this. And if I draw another 2-mana instant, I get to play another turn. Schooner doesn't do it. I want the Werefox Bodyguards. Probably not. They would be okay, but I think I like my other cards better. We're supposed to be in my opening hand, not my first draw step. That was a good draw. A really good draw. This would probably make disappear on Raffine. I'm fine with that happening. I think I am. And if I guess I wouldn't do that if I knew 100% that it was going to happen, but given the option between not spending my mana and finding out and just trying, I think I prefer trying. Now I'll be able to Greasefang back a Surgehacker Mech if they can't disrupt it, which is pretty strong. See what they've got. They don't have anything? That's bad for them. So it means that I get to do this. Then this. And this. And this. Now what do they have? Destroy evil, my schooner. Okay. Destroy evil, not very good against Greasefang. Signs are pointing to their dead. The schooner was coming back. Well, I thought the deck was pretty fun. It was certainly not as consistent as like a fully tuned top tier deck. But I felt like it had some amount of potential. The Mech Hangars... I think there was one game where my opponent conceded because they were going to die to the Mech Hangar activating a vehicle where if I had not had the Mech Hangar and just drawn a land for my turn, I wouldn't have been able to kill them. So I think it actually helped me once. And it was kind of bad a few other times. So I don't know if you can afford to play them with Raffine. It might have been better to just have more, maybe like Adakar Wastes would have been the best land to replace them with. There was never a point where I was going to use the Plaza of Heroes activated ability. And these were pretty bad. Like that one match I lost where I couldn't cast any of my 2-mana spells because I just drew 2 Plaza of Heroes and a Mech Hangar. That was pretty bad. I think that maybe these should just be Adakar Wastes. Still haven't really fully formed an opinion on Get Lost. I mean, it was really good in the games where I got very far ahead, and it was pretty bad in the games where I fell behind. So I don't know that makes it better or worse than other options. If you were cutting the Mech Hangars, you could just play more black producing lands and play like Go for the Throat. But the thing is, Subterranean Schooner is really good against people who are only playing Go for the Throat. So it's not like it's strictly better to play Go for the Throat. Amongst these 2-mana plays, I was kind of happy with my mix. And I felt like Spyglass Siren was... it seemed like it was good enough. I could maybe see playing like one copy of Skrelv. I did lose to that ramp deck. I actually think I have a pretty good sideboard and main deck configuration against the ramp deck. I just drew kind of bad in one of the sideboarded games. I was definitely happy having all the cut downs on my sideboard. The unlicensed sources were... I wasn't expecting to play decks where they would be good against, and I didn't play against those kind of decks. I think this is easily a card you could cut if you don't really expect to play against people using the graveyard very much. That red-black deck I played right at the beginning might have had some things I could hearse, but it still didn't even seem worth it there. I could see wanting just more Werefox Bodyguards. I didn't play against any of the really creature-heavy white decks where Werefox Bodyguard would be really good. Well, I hope you enjoyed that, and I don't know, leave a comment if you have ideas for other ways to try this. Because I did, like, Greasefang, it is really powerful when it's working, even if you're not getting Parhelion number 2 into play. So I could see there being a good configuration with Greasefang and having a really good standard deck with it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.